Today on the grid, it's Ask Us Anything Day. We're taking your questions on photography, on Photoshop, on Lightroom, on anything, even stuff we don't know about. Mr. Kuna's here, the real man, the can of ham. And what else we got? We've got some fun news. We've got a ridiculous amount of prizes to give away once again. It's going to be a fun day on the grid. And when does all this mayhem start? Well, I guess it just started.
Brought to you by Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
And it all just starts in 23.2 seconds. Let's go. No? Okay. Well, welcome, everybody. How y'all doing? Welcome. Glad to have you here. It's a Wednesday on the East Coast.
Wednesday.
We got Juan on the jib, so I expect fabulous.
No, that's Erik back there.
Oh, is it
That's
Erik? Oh, he's pretty good.
Yes.
He's not Juan. Let's be straight. But
oh no,
he's also not
that
Dobson.
jib work was pretty solid.
That's pretty solid. That's what I'm saying. He's good. He's good.
Pretty solid jib
He's
work.
come a long way. Dobson, however, stuck in the mud. But that's okay. He's a good Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Call of
that's
Duty.
where he
He's right there,
shines.
man. That's where he shines. So that's why we keep him on staff. Anyway, got lots of stuff to give away, lots of stuff to talk about. First off, coming up this weekend is the Worldwide Photo Walk. It's going to be all over the world. I'm leading a walk in Tokyo, in the Shibuya district of Tokyo on Saturday. Shibuya. So if you're out that way and you want to hang out for a couple of hours and walk around Tokyo with me, it's this coming Saturday. So I would love to see you there. If you have friends in Tokyo that are photographers, tell them to come on out. They can just go to worldwidephotowalk.com, click on Find a Walk, type in Tokyo, type in Shibuya, and you'll find me in Shibuya, hanging out with my family in Shibuya. That's the one right there. That's me. View my walk, where we will meet. We're going to meet at some gates, and we're going to walk someplace, and we're going to go Shibuya-ing.
Yeah, but you know what's great, Scott, is the Worldwide Photo Walk is not really, it's about getting photographers together.
Yes.
But for us, it's about raising money for the orphanage we support in Kenya.
Right. The Springs of Hope Orphanage in Kenya is a very, very small orphanage, and so we ask that you give $1. You know, if you sign up, give $1. If you want to give more, we've had people actually give us $1,000.
Yeah, $1,000.
We had somebody give
really
$5,000 once. Oh, it makes all the difference in the world. And 100% of the money goes straight to the orphanage, and it's a great cause run by great people. It's a very small orphanage. It's a little tiny one. I think right now it's 31 kids. So
yeah, and all the photo walk is 100% where we just run it just to do it as a gift to photographers.
Yeah, it's a social event, and really it does,
all
like
the money
Erik
goes there.
says, all the money goes to Springs of Hope.
Yep.
So go to worldwidephotowalk.com, join us this weekend in cities. Find a city near you, join the walk. It's all free. Everything's free. If you want to give $1, great. You don't have to, but you know, it's an orphanage. Come on, give $1. All right, what else we got going on? Erik and my Las Vegas workshop has been sold out now. It's been completely sold out. So we're looking forward to that. That's coming up this month. Woo! It's just a whirlwind here, right?
Yeah.
Let's see what else is going on. We have the Wildlife Conference coming up. So our next conference is the Wildlife Conference here that we're going to be doing at Kelby 1. We just wrapped up a really successful Photoshop World that was just a blast.
Speaking of wild, that one was pretty wild.
That was wild because we did it during a hurricane.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
But we got through it, and the team did a great job here. And Mr. Kuna, as he always does, was the Swiss Army knife of contingency plans.
Well, I can say all the team here, especially. But
we have a great team.
It was an interesting day because we really took it down to the essentials. Like Larry Becker usually comes in, but he has to drive a long distance. We kept him at home.
Yep.
We kind of slimmed down the crew here, but it all worked out. We had power outages, but we had battery backups and all that, and everything stayed up and running and working all the day. And then everybody got home safe, and that was the key there.
Yep. All right, what else? My workshop in Antarctica is coming up in February. If you want to go to Antarctica, if you've always been on your bucket list, I am one of the instructors of the Munch workshops. You can go to, well, I'll give you it's a long It's a long web address. And so go to Munch Workshops. It's MUENCH workshops.com, and you'll find the Antarctica one right there. Go and check it out, and I would love to see you there. It'll be a lot of fun. Great group of, it's like 10 instructors, and they've rented the whole ship, and it's a beautiful ship, and we're going to Antarctica. So if you ever wanted to go, February, there it is right there. And you know they put me at the bottom, like he's just the bottom feeder. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but I'll still be there, and we can hang out and do stuff. But anyway, yeah, look at the ship.
There it is.
That's it right there. So if you want to go and check it out,
sail away.
You will come sail away with me. Okay, so today is Ask Us Anything Day. So if you have questions about anything, you want to talk about gear, you want to talk about Photoshop, photography, Lightroom, whatever. Teslas, Amazon, Disney, whatever. Any of the topics.
Food, chicken sandwich.
Oh, I got a thing. It's not going to apply to everybody, but I have a food thing. Can I do it now?
Yeah.
It's short.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, my brother turned me on to this. It is a marinara sauce for pasta.
Okay.
And it is shockingly good. Now, if you go and research online, it will tell you Rao's. And Rao's bolognese sauce is my favorite. And Rao's marinara I liked. I've also, my wife for Christmas got me Carmine's marinara. Mm-hmm. This one is actually better. It is shocking when I tell you what it is. It's the best marinara in a jar you'll ever have. Ready? Mm-hmm. You got to hear the whole thing.
Okay.
It's Publix Premium. Publix own house brand, but they're premium. Don't get the regular marinara.
I got you. Publix is surprising on some of the things.
But their premium is on a whole different level. I'm telling you, it's the best.
And for you not
marinara.
From this area, Publix is like our local grocery chain. It's kind of the southeast.
Yeah,
now,
it's like the southeast of America.
In Florida.
It's Florida, Georgia, Alabama, North Carolina, South, all that kind of. But that's it right there. But it's got to be the one that says premium. That is it. That's the one.
The premium.
All right.
Gotta have that premium.
Yeah, it's got, because the regular pasta sauce tastes like ragu or something.
It's like
I'm telling
87 octane. You need that.
I'm
92.
telling you guys, it's shocking. You will be stunned, and you will write me and say, Scott, that is the best marinara I bought at the store. Right there. That's my food thing for the day.
There we go.
All right, so we have that.
Something else might come up.
Yeah. But anyway, that's. I haven't found anything better, and I've tried them all. It's quite good. All righty, what else have we got?
We got a bunch of giveaways.
That's what it was.
So we've got your Crush the Composition book, which is coming out in print.
Yeah, it's out now.
It's out now. It's coming in print, so you can get it over on Amazon. Actually, I think, is it already there?
It is not in print yet. So what's there is the Kindle version.
And that's what somebody's going to win today.
Yeah. The print version is on its way.
Coming.
It'll be here next month.
Yes.
And maybe sooner. You never know, because sometimes it comes in earlier. But what this book is it's an entire book on composition. And it's based on a class that I did called Crush the Composition. And in that class, I start off by telling you we are not going to do the rules of composition. Right? The ones that have been around since the 1920s. It's all the other stuff, because all of the books on composition are basically focused on the rules of composition. And there's a whole story of why I wound up writing it. But this is an expanded version. But my publisher said, why don't we do it and make it look like a coffee table book? So it's got kind of 1 foot on the coffee table, 1 foot in the classroom. That's the whole idea behind the book, and it's beautifully laid out. It really is. I'll show you kind of it's got a gorgeous layout. I'm trying to find a nice spread. So it's got a gorgeous layout, and it describes everything in great detail, and it's stuff that you're not going to read on the internet, and it's very, very different.
It's beautiful.
But it's kind of what's missing, and I think a lot of people are missing this. You can get the ebook now, or you can buy and be one of the first ones to get the print book.
Some Blue Angels. Boom.
Yeah, Blue Angels. Boom. All right, so that's it.
All right, so we're giving that away, Kindle edition.
Yep.
The Platypod Basic, which is this little dish at the bottom of this, holds the grip, not the disc. The Platypod Basic we're giving away.
Oh, we're giving away
this part. There we go. That's what we want.
It.
That's what we're giving away. The Platypod Basic,
okay.
which is really cool. You can put it with the Platypod
works surprisingly
grip,
well. I've got
but
one.
I've got to be honest. I put a regular tripod head on there with a small camera.
What?
It works really good too.
What?
So I'm just saying, versatile product.
Versatile.
All right. V-Flat. We're giving away a V-Flat from V-Flat World. So this is for U.S. shipping only on this. So don't enter if you don't have a U.S. shipping address. It will never get to you.
You'll never get it.
So everybody can win over there, though. They just got to use that code. I think it's Kelby 10 at checkout, and they'll save 10% off over at checkout.
Yeah.
And then On One No Noise 2024, we're going to be giving that away. So you got the No Noise product from On One. We're going to be giving that one away. Great plugin for reducing the noise in your photos. And then Retouch for Me is giving away their Heal app, which is awesome this is for Photoshop and for skin retouching. So this is something if you're doing retouching with portraits, weddings, that kind of stuff. One click, it does the automation, and then it gives you the actual mask that you can edit later. So really awesome plugin. And then SlickPick,
it's high-end pro quality stuff.
Pro stuff. And then SlickPick's giving away 1 year of their classic gallery plan. This one has to be a new customer. So again, if you have a SlickPick account, really don't enter this one because they'll end up saying, well, we can't sign you up for it. So new customers only on that one. SlickPick 1 year classic gallery plan. Everybody can get a discount over there. Just go to slickpick.com/Kelby1. All right, and then Elizabeth's asking Scott, because we got to go back to food, what's your number 2 marinara sauce if you don't have a Publix?
Oh, Rao's. Rao's really is quite good. RAOS. And that would have been my go-to all this time. I had Carmine's, which I really liked.
Carmine's is very
Rao's
good.
is I would say is
There's
my
a place
number
where
2.
I'm from in Binghamton, New York. There's a place called Little Venice. We can get the sauce from there.
Oh, yeah?
It's very well. I think it's very good just because I remember it growing up.
There it is. There's Rao's homemade marinara right there. Quite good. And again, if you do research on the web, Rao's almost always wins. It's like every time they go, we asked 6 chefs, it's always Rao's. So,
and we got people joining us all over the world. We got DNR saying hi from Kansas City. AJ saying hi. Signed up for a photo walk here in Miami.
Let's
so
go.
Rick saying hi from Ohio. Jerry saying hi from Tacoma, Washington. Lisa saying hi from Fort Lauderdale. Claudia saying hope everybody in Tampa was okay from Helene. Everybody's okay. I can't say the same for some of our houses and stuff.
Our stuff isn't the same.
Yeah, that kind of stuff that we're dealing with. Oof. And then saying hi from Toronto. And then Gary saying hi from Trinity, Florida. Michael saying hi from Illinois, and then Kurt all the way from Kentucky. And we hope everybody was safe up there at all those regions that did get affected by the hurricane. It was a really bad one. So,
yeah. Allison says, when is your night photography book coming out? It's in production.
It's in production. A couple other books got in there.
Crushed composition, nudged it out.
But that's in production. It's been worked on. So I hope soon.
Yep. All righty. Anyway, drop us questions. And one of the reasons to drop us questions is if you drop a question in there, you're automatically entered to win a prize. So when the first time you leave us a comment, do tell us what prize you'd like to win, and then you can ask a question with that as well. All right, we are going to take a short break. Remember, we're taking your questions, your comments about anything. It's photography, it's Photoshop, it's gear, it's marinara sauces. It's anything you want day here on the grid. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you right after the break with some more of your questions.
Hey folks, Kirk Nelson here from the Pixel Pro Photography, and I am thrilled to be down here at Kelby One Studios bringing you this fantastic class on elevating your sports portraits. I'm going to help you take your photos from the boring old standard, take a picture of a kid with a baseball bat, to some really great looking photos. We're going to use some stadium lights, we're going to use some fantastic athletes, we're going to use some fog, some other environmental effects. You're not going to believe how good your photos are going to look. Only here at kelby1.com.
Hey everyone, I am nature photographer Ian Plant, and this video is part of Kelby's National Park series. And I travel the world looking for the most amazing places to photograph. And I've seen a lot of dramatic and epic landscapes. And people often ask me, Ian, where's your favorite place in the world to photograph? And they're often surprised that my answer is Badlands National Park in South Dakota. I love the Badlands. And it's ironic because this is a place that often gets overlooked by other serious landscape photographers. But I think it's one of the best places in the world to practice landscape photography. It's an amazing place. There are so many colors and textures and patterns in the landscape here. And during the summer thunderstorm season, you get the most epic sunrise and sunset skies imaginable. And in this video, I'm going to share some of my favorite Badlands shooting locations, like the Big Badlands Overlook, or the Door Trail, or Panorama Point, or my personal favorite, Bigfoot Pass. So join me on this amazing Badlands photo adventure, only available at kelby1.com.
Badlands, Badlands, Badlands.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
Hey, we are back. Scott Kelby here with Erik Kuna. So I want to thank everybody yesterday who came. We had over 1,000 people live watching our iPhone webinar yesterday. So I did an iPhone webinar that was basically on, it was for everybody who's tired of carrying a bunch of heavy gear but still wants to take great pictures. So we showed, it was 7 ways you can take incredible photos on your iPhone and not miss your DSLR or mirrorless at all.
We called that the big heavy camera.
Yeah, the big heavy, the BHC, the big heavy camera. I can't believe how many photos I took on my trip to Norway on my phone.
Like, well, I can't believe over the years how many photos we've taken.
Oh yeah.
And then you look back, and I think one of the things that was amazing is people were talking about how many of those photos were JPEGs that look. Everybody thought they were RAWs and all these process.
Yeah.
Like, no, they were just JPEGs. Yeah.
JPEGs.
Yeah,
so,
in fact, there's one picture right there.
Yeah, there's a picture. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can go.
We will have a link for you next week. If you didn't catch it and you want to watch a replay, we have it next week. It's free. You can just go in there and hang out with us.
You can watch the replay.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right.
So I got a couple questions here, Scott.
Yep.
So Warren's asking, is there a cloud backup plan that you can recommend? I think you're going to recommend the same one I'm going to recommend.
Backblaze,
yep,
right?
That's what I do.
There's a company called Backblaze that is very inexpensive. You get unlimited uploads. It uploads in the background. And I have many Backblaze accounts. My whole laptop goes up to Backblaze. My whole home computer goes back up to Backblaze. And my entire photo library on a Synology network attached drive, that whole thing goes up. So I have 3 different accounts, but it works great. Actually, there's only 2 different accounts because you can put up more than one thing.
I have the same thing. And last week ran into, I'm glad I did it because My Synology drive is underwater. So.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, so
you
fun
don't
stuff.
you don't want to know. It's bad.
It's bad.
All right, but yeah, that's the one I would.
But I always
recommend.
have that. I always have that as backup.
Yeah.
I took in my other drive with me, so I always have 3 copies.
All right, there's a great question here from Janet.
So Janet's saying, I would love any advice about photographing Ireland. Heading there in 21 days.
All right. Well, I just got back from Ireland. All right. And I've been there a number of times before. I would say this, Janet, a couple of things. The biggest thing I can tell you is do not get a rental car. Do not drive in Ireland. Ireland is the scariest place in the world. Do you know that when you go to rent
I do agree with this. I do agree with
when
this.
you go to rent a
100%.
car in Ireland, you will see a big sign there that says, we do not accept your credit card insurance. Like if you have American Express and all that kind of stuff,
they're not gonna accept it.
you're going to bring that car back trashed. It's a guarantee.
Yeah, dents,
So Janet, there's
everywhere.
a weird thing about Ireland. Not only are you driving on the wrong side of the road, but the roads are shockingly narrow. And what's right up against
the fence lines that are like
rock
stone.
fences right next to you. It's just, you're not coming back with any mirrors on your car.
And everybody driving towards you is like just flooring it.
I'm telling you. So
Big
that's number
buses
one.
flooring it right by you.
Number 2, you might want to go, you're going to think you're going to want to go to, what's it called? The something stair. It's those stairs that they look like hexagons. I can't think of the name of it.
I know what you're talking about.
It's in Ireland. It's outside of Dublin. And not Dublin, it's outside of, it's in Northern Ireland. What is it called?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I know what you're talking about.
It is the most disappointing photographic place I've ever shot. It's just, there's so many people there.
But Ireland is beautiful.
Ireland is gorgeous. What I would tell you is, I would go to the, if you get a chance, if you're in Northern Ireland, go to the dark hedges. It's interesting to see. Make sure you photograph it with a long lens. It won't look like the dark hedges without like a 150 to 200 millimeter. That's the dark hedges. They are made famous, of course, by Game of Thrones, but they were famous for photographers.
Make sure you go at the right time of day.
Yeah, go. It's nice to go in the morning when it's foggy.
In the morning.
Go early morning.
Early morning.
And also there's lots of Instagrammers that go there now. So you get there in the morning. Instagrammers don't like to get up early. So there's that Giant's Causeway. Thank you, Dan. Dan, it's called the Giant's Causeway. Don't waste your time. Now, if you just want to see it, this is. It is
geologically cool to see.
Yes, but
photographically not
here's
cool
what they
to
don't.
shoot.
All right, here's what they don't tell you in all those pictures. There's 500 people all climbing on every single bit of it, and you could
Unless
never
you go at dawn. Unless you go like
go at
super
dawn.
early.
You would never have this in America because you see little kids out there playing. If they slip and fall, they will die. Yeah. And I'm like, I can't believe that they let just anyone climb out there.
Geologically cool.
You can't see what's behind that guy with his foot up. It's death. It's instant death. I'm not joking. I kid you not. It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. It's wet. It's slippery. I see people fall. It's just bad. All right. So that would be it. But Janet, what I would tell you is the greatest thing about Ireland, as beautiful as it is, are the Irish people. The Irish people are the warmest. Make sure that you don't come home with just pictures of Giant's Causeway and the dark hedges and stuff. Make sure that you photograph the Irish people. They are really, really neat and wonderful, and you're going to have a great. I'm very jealous. You're going to have a wonderful time. You're just going to have a great experience. Ireland is the best.
All right, that's awesome. Larry is asking if you're trying to photograph a glass of beer. Speaking of Ireland. How do you maintain the head foam on the glass of beer?
By the way, do you know that's where Guinness comes from? It doesn't.
Yes, I do.
I mean,
and it tastes different in Ireland.
It does taste
totally
different.
tastes different.
Yes, I did the Guinness tour, which is great. Oh yeah. Hey Janet, if you get to do the Guinness tour, it's phenomenally great. I'm not a beer drinker, but it's a phenomenally great tour. I had more beer that day than I've ever had probably in my life.
Guinness in Ireland was way better.
All right,
way better.
All right, so Larry, so you know, when they photograph a glass of beer, you got to watch. We have classes, Larry, on photographing food, and I think one of them does include beer, and there are tricks to it. Go watch. Give me his name, Steve
Hansen.
Steve Hansen, incredible high-end pro food photographer. We have a number of great food photography classes. Go watch those, Larry. There's somewhere in there is the whole glass of beer thing and how to make it look frosty and awesome and all that stuff. All right. Let's say Sharon says the answer is probably yes, but is there a class that teaches us how to do tabletop still life photography? You know it. Absolutely. Yes, the answer is yes.
Steve did this where he's got
look at that beer. Look at that beer with the frosty head.
Yeah, there's a whole class on all that, and burger and beer. There's part 1 and part 2.
Burger and beer. Man, the questions are pouring in now.
There. And then so let's see, we got next Lothar. I think this is more of a comment.
No, it's good though.
But isn't it about time to just speak of photography instead of digital photography?
I agree.
I think we're there.
And
I think we've got there.
And we talk about this, and you notice I just say photography anymore.
Yeah.
However, so I wrote this book, right? And it's the best-selling book on digital photography of all time. It's called, ready? The Digital Photography Book. And I actually talked to my publisher recently about they're going to reprint it again. I'm like, can we just change the name to the photography book? Can we take out the word, digital is just dumb to say it anymore? They won't do it. They're like, no, we can't mess with this book. It's the best-selling book of all time. I'm like, we don't even use that phrase anymore. Yeah. We don't use digital. We might say mirrorless because we're talking about a particular type of camera. Right. That's the book right there, the Digital Photography Book. They will not change the name.
And I think you wrote the first one in 2000.
Yeah, it's been around. This is like the 5th edition of that. Yeah. So you can see the original. That's the original.
There was a time when it was I had to denote that was digital.
Right, you had to say the Digital Photography Book, but I agree. I think it is absolutely time to stop that.
All right, Lisa V is asking, speaking of iPhone photography, can you talk about the value or lack of value of changing to RAW versus JPEG on the iPhone, which you went over in detail in that webcast yesterday? I'm using an iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I always forget to switch it and wondering how much it matters.
I would say this, Lisa. It don't matter a whole bunch. Now, I showed a bunch of photos yesterday, right, in the thing that I had taken. They were all JPEGs, not a single one of them RAW. Do you know why none of them were RAW? Because I forget to switch it on just like you, Lisa. I just forget to switch it on. And the only time I would switch it on is where I'm someplace, and I have done this, but I'll be someplace and I'll go, man, that picture looks amazing. Wait, let me reshoot it with RAW. The RAW does have greater data. It's a bigger file. It's 48 megapixels. So it's a very, very large file, and it helps you in many ways. It captures more data, so it's more resistant to you editing the heck out of it. It's going to have a greater tonal range, and if you need to crop it down, there's plenty of megapixels to still have a very high resolution image when you're done. But honestly, Lisa, I mean, it does give you a better file, but it eats up phone stuff like amazing. A JPEG on your phone is 2.8 meg, and a 48 megapixel RAW is 75 megabytes. If you click the button 14 times, it's a gig. Yeah. So
it's the same way with a mirrorless camera. It's the same way with a DSLR.
Yeah.
If you shoot that, it is. But I think what it comes down to is what you were talking about. What you're standing in front of, do you need to push it in post? Because here's the thing, like you and I know, if you're standing in a beautiful scene like Tuscany and the sun's rising and you've got the fog and the trees, if it's a JPEG and you expose it right,
it looks great.
You're great. And you might only push it this much in post because it's already looking great. But if you were there and you're like, man, I wish I could push this a little bit more, well, then turn it to RAW. But you don't really need the RAW.
Yeah, you don't.
We don't even need that with like the DSLR mirrorless.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
All right, this is where Eric's talking about right there.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a great question from Treasure Maze, and I'm going to let Erik answer this because I think Erik knows the answer here. He's got a particular one, I think, in mind. Treasure Maze asked, and I'm asking you this, Erik.
Okay.
If you were just beginning photography, what camera would you start with?
iPhone. I'm sorry. I would just because you can actually focus on the things that don't
I know, but
really
I think,
matter. But if you didn't,
You had a particular one that you were like, this is the deal.
Oh, well, there's a few of them. I mean, it matters what your
well, we're going to choose Canon. We're Canon, so we're going to choose. I mean, we're Canon shooters, not we're Canon.
Yeah, I would say like there's that one that's if you want full frame, the R8 is a great deal.
That's
right?
the one.
The R8 is like a smoking deal when you consider what sensor it has in it and the price of it. I think it's around $1,000.
Let's go see if I can find out what it is.
Yeah, $1,200. Now there's another one that's the R10, which is the crop one, that's even cheaper, right? But both of those
Let's see what the R10 is.
Great cameras.
But that R8, that one's not going to be one you outgrow real quickly.
No, yeah, the R8 is like, that's the one that I was saying, for $1,200, like that can hold its weight at $1,200 versus the $5,000 ones.
Yeah.
Like you have all the things. Now the R10 is like,
it's
you get
$900.
You get the crop sensor, so you get the little advantage. So like if I was into action, I might say, well, go with the R10 if you want to like enter level.
Action, or if you're shooting
but I
sports
say overall,
or wildlife.
Overall, like the deal is that R8.
Yeah, it's the
like
R8.
It really does fit into that spot where it's like you're getting the R6 and the R5 and like those features, but you're doing it in a small package where you're getting that full frame sensor. I mean, you're just not going to outgrow that one. Like if you buy that, that's the deal. Like for $1,300, if you want a camera that you can grow into,
yes,
that's the camera.
That's the camera. All right.
I still think the iPhone's got it.
I know. Julia's got a good question.
Right? Yeah. Julia's asking, I just got the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Will there be another class for that iPhone?
All right. So Julia, I have good news and bad news. The good news is we do have another class coming out in it, but there's not much in the actual phone so much. Like there's a new side button.
Yeah, the camera control.
Yeah, the camera control button there. But where they did make changes is there are a few minor changes in the actual camera app, but there's a lot of changes to the actual Photos app, the app that you use from Apple
and
to
that's
do
what
your
we're making a class
so
on that.
we're going to cover it all in one big class, but I just want to let you know the focus will be on the camera app and mostly the Photos app. And of course, we'll talk about the new features, but it's not a whole lot.
There's not a whole lot, and some of its technical features. Like the one thing I do think the 16 Pro and the 16 Pro Max that I always wished I had up until now is that ultra wide. Because I love shooting ultra wide, and now that ultra wide will go to 48 megapixels.
Oh yeah,
that is very nice.
I don't use the 48 megapixel very often.
I don't often, but when you're like in front of that scene and you're like, ooh, I wish I had it, it's nice to have that choice. I don't know. All right. We got to take a break.
We got to take a break. Break time. We got lots of questions coming in. I love this. So let's go. We will be right back. We're going to get to more of your questions right after this.
Hi, I'm Joe McNally, and I'm completely excited to talk to you right now, right here, about a class called The Complete Photographer. It's an amazing journey from genre to genre. We did sports photography, we did studio flash, we did location flash, soft light, portrait light, athletic light. We took those principles of the studio out onto location. We worked in hard sun on the beach. We went into establishments and we told the story of a particular shop or shopkeeper in a whole variety of locations. I basically took 40 years of photographic experience and I poured it into 5 days. It's probably the best class I've ever taught. We had an incredible Kelby video team with us every step of the way. So every beat, every nuance, every frame are all recorded, so now it's yours. You can partake in this class as if you were there. It was literally the most complete week of teaching I've ever done, and maybe that's why the class is called The Complete Photographer.
Hey, Jeff Leinbach here on Kelby1.com with my new class, Event Photography Basics. So if you ever thought about shooting event photography, this is a great class to get started in this. We talk about gear, we talk about what to shoot, making sure you're capturing the right things. All of those things wrapped up in Event Photography Basics. So come join my latest class on Kelby1.com.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the world's most compact tripod base.
Hey, we're back live with you on The Grid. Scott and Erik are here.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to show you some pictures. We were talking about the RAW and JPEG. These are the ones yesterday. I'm going to show them you real quick. These are all just JPEGs straight out of the, I mean, I edited them, right? I mean, they're processed, but they're not RAW.
And
these are
most
all JPEGs.
From really like iPhone 11, 10,
yeah,
11,
none of these
13.
are with a 16, and none of these are with a 15. Maybe one or two is with a 14, but most of these are like an iPhone 12.
Yes.
Sad. But yeah, I had a long time on the iPhone 12 because I wasn't able to upgrade. So these are literally, even that long exposure that you just saw, that's all done on the iPhone, just using the regular iPhone app. So yeah, these are all iPhone shots. Yeah. And they're all JPEG, every one of them. Every one of those were all iPhone photos, and they were all in JPEG, every one of them.
Yeah, and Jim's saying there was a great webinar yesterday. Is the replay link available yet? You'll have that in your email. So
yep, go look at your email. I think it was available today, I think.
Yeah, if not really soon.
All right.
All right. Don's asking, what type of quick release do you recommend? Would like the Platypod base. Oh, saying, I think, entering the contest wants the Platypod base. But what type of quick release would you recommend? Yeah.
I use the quick release that comes on whatever ball head that I'm using. Mm-hmm. Like I like the snap kind rather than the turn. You have ones that have a knob that tighten your camera, or you have the pop open ones. Like on the really right stuff, has got those on the top of them.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. Like where it just flips.
I like it, and it's tight.
And that's where everything I always buy is just Arca Swiss.
Swiss, yep.
Across the board. You never have to worry if you buy Arca Swiss. It always works.
Arca.
All right.
EAK is asking Erik Kuna, have you ever been to the Luma Light Festival in Binghamton?
Yeah, that's where I'm from. No, I have not. I can't really remember it. It was a little kid, and the only time I would go back is weddings, funerals, and that's about it. That's the only reason we go back to Binghamton.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, Barry Morris is asking.
I went to the Speedy Fest there, the Speedy Fest, which is an interesting balloon fest, but it's about Speedies, which is like a local marinade for meat. I know, right? Anyway,
makes me want to go up there now.
It's very good, very good.
I imagine it is. Barry is asking, what's the best focal length to use for car photography? I think there's probably a couple of them.
Yeah.
One of them is if you're shooting very close. Like if I'm doing detail shots on a car and I'm really up close. I think I can give you an example, and I can tell you what lens I used. So let me go real quick. Don't move, don't breathe, don't make a sound. All right, hang on 1 second. Let me click a couple of links. Click a link here, click a link there. Our internet is dragging butt today. Let's go to, here we go, automotive.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so take a look here. For shots like this.
Yeah, the detail shots.
These detail shots, that's a 24 millimeter. Right, where you're right up close and you're right on the car, and I do almost all of my detail stuff with a 24 millimeter. So any of this stuff here, that's my car. It's not my car. I borrowed a friend's car. A lot of these are, friends have cars, right? But outside of that, I am getting like for this shot. I'm getting way back, and shooting with a 70-200 zoomed in because I like the compression that it gives the car.
Yeah, it's not going to distort.
Yeah, and these are 24-70. This is, again, 70-200. I'm back. Erik was with me when I shot this. How far back was I, Erik? 50 feet?
Well, I tell you what we were. You were the farthest back that we possibly could be in the studio because we were against the wall.
Yeah.
And you couldn't go any farther back.
Yeah.
And that's with those huge Chimera over it.
Yes. And now, again, if you can't get that far, you're going to use a 24-70 and you're going to use the 70.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want, you have to be careful when using a wide angle from far away with a car because you can get distortion and stuff. But anyway, you get the idea. So somewhere in there.
So I got a question here. Karen's asking, is it too late for me to start a photo walk in my area? There wasn't one in her immediate area. No.
Yeah. Well, it's not too late, but
it's not too late. But you
really have to get the word out,
and then you got to get promoted
because it's this Saturday, and you'd have to get promoting it. Like if you have a way to get the word out, like local photo
camera
groups
club,
and stuff, and camera clubs,
Facebook group locally.
Yeah, you might be able to have, but you have to really get on it. Yeah.
Yep. And then let's see. Janice is asking, how about any info on photographing Sydney?
All right, so I did a photo walk in Sydney. So one of the years, like I'm going to Tokyo, I leave tomorrow actually, because I'm taking the whole family. The whole fam's going. We're all going. The kids, everybody, my daughter-in-law. We're all the dogs. No, wish the dogs could go, but it's a lot of dog. Yes. You don't want those dogs on the plane.
Well, and then you got quarantine.
But yeah, anyway, my wife and I did Sydney, and it was wonderful. I would say this, Sydney's a wonderful town, and you're going to have all kinds of stuff to shoot. There's a wonderful bridge. But I would say this, the Eiffel Tower of Sydney is the Sydney Opera House. And there's a lot of different angles that you can shoot it from, and I would shoot it from all of those and find that great shot. I like to shoot it from the other side of the bridge. So it sticks out into the harbor, right? Yeah. And then you've got a bridge that goes to the other side, right? And shoot it from the other side, and you can get the bridge and the Opera House in the same shot. There's a wonderful theater called the State Theater, STATETHEATRE. Beautiful, old, classic, wonderfully restored, beautiful classic theater from like the 1920s. Absolutely gorgeous. I don't know, there's so much there to shoot. It's such a beautiful town. The skyline is also beautiful from the other side. I think a lot of it you'll want to shoot from the other side of the bridge. You're not going to have any problem finding out what to shoot in Sydney, but if you want a place to go look for some ideas, go to locationscout.net and type in Sydney, and you'll see all kinds of great pictures. Instagram is another great place to look. Just look for the hashtag Sydney. And also, there you go. And also, Pinterest is actually, there's a lot of ads on Pinterest. If you get past the ads, you can find a lot of people who've curated great stuff. There's a really neat street in downtown Sydney. We have a picture of this hanging in our house. My wife took it with her iPhone, and it's terrific. There's a street where the whole top is hanging bird cages. Like, picture hundreds of bird cages going down the street. It's right in downtown Sydney. I'm telling you, it's fast. There it is. Man, the control room, after their earlier hiccup.
Yeah, they're on it.
But it's really neat. I look at that. Isn't that cool? How unusual, 151 bird cages. I would go shoot that. It's really neat, and there's a lot of angles that you're kind of seeing the standard angle there. But
so along these lines of travel, I got a question from Chris here.
Yeah.
When Scott goes overseas, so you're going overseas there.
Yes.
Do you still just take your 24 to 240 RF lens?
Yeah.
So you're going to Sydney or you're going to Tokyo. What lens are you taking?
The 24. It's already packed.
That's it.
It's already ready.
Right?
I'm leaving tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
No. So I went to Norway. So here's where I went. I went to Norway, Ireland, Scotland, London, Cambridge, all over for a solid month. One lens, 24 to 240. That's it. Makes your life so easy. I love it. I never have to worry about changing lenses. I don't have to carry a camera bag. I just put my camera over my shoulder, and I'm good to go.
All right. All right. What is this? Lori's asking, I forgot my tripod at Blue Hour at the hotel while I was on vacation. Improvised with higher ISO.
Yeah.
Images are reasonably sharp. It's better to use denoise is it better to use denoise in Lightroom or external software?
External software.
It is better to use external software.
Yeah, the one in Lightroom is crazy slow. I hear people telling me yesterday, someone wrote me, and it takes over a half an hour to apply it.
It's getting better. It's getting better.
This is just,
and it matters on your computer. I do think that.
Yeah,
I think it matters a lot on that.
Or just get a plug-in and it works fine. Go get On One. Well, here's why. Go get On One's No Noise AI, which includes their Tack Sharp plugin. You ready for this? Ready? Everybody sitting down for this? Topaz no longer sells Sharpen AI.
I know.
You cannot just go and buy Topaz Sharpen AI. They're making you buy
the whole thing.
Their whole big kit, and they've moved it into there. So there is no more.
I know.
If you don't already own it, I don't like it. I don't like it. And anyway, go get. And by the way, they just greatly improved with the 2024 model of Topaz No Noise.
On One No Noise.
I'm sorry. Yes. Thank you. On One No Noise. They just improved the algorithm that makes the images even sharper.
Yeah,
like the
it's
sharpness.
Weird. It takes the noise the sharpness that you lose with the high ISO noise, and it like brings it back.
Yes.
I don't know how it does
and it's way better than last year's version. It's better than last year's.
Oh, yeah.
Like the 2023, this is a big jump.
You can go select the old model if you want, but I don't know why you would.
Don't select the old model.
It'll default to the new one, but you can go back to the old one.
Don't do it.
Treasure Maze is asking you, Scott, do you carry a tripod with your iPhone?
I have the, the Pocket Tripod Pro.
And I have this.
So that's what I have now. Why? I've misplaced my pocket tripod.
It's so small you don't know where it goes.
I cannot find it. I don't. It's the size of a credit card.
I will say that the pocket tripod
this is
Pro
terrific.
And this
is great.
Between this and the pocket tripod Pro, you're good.
This thing is the bomb. All right.
Yeah, and then you can really attach this. I did this when I went to the Amalfi Coast. I took this and then I attached it to a little light stand. Loom cube light stand, and it went up to 5 feet.
Hey, so speaking of that, ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
My wife told me this week she's planning a trip for she and I to Rome and the Amalfi Coast next May. Let's go.
I got a guy.
You got a guy?
I do.
All right.
I got a guy.
Am I going to walk a lot of stairs?
It's the Amalfi Tom Cruise is what I'll call him. Yeah,
all right.
Tom Cruise.
Perfect. We don't have to jump off anything, do we?
Nope.
Good.
All right. Sharon's asking, do you have any tips for creating digital black and whites as well as post-processing? So just maybe how to post-process black and whites.
Yeah, let me give me a second. I'm just going to grab an image here, and I'll just real quickly show you.
Let me see.
Give me
another one while you're grabbing that.
Though.
So Philip's asking, do you recommend using the Lightroom mobile camera on your iPhone or the Apple Camera app?
I use the Apple
Camera app. The only reason I would say Lightroom is if you had an older phone and you, for some reason, needed to shoot RAW and your phone doesn't shoot RAW. You can use the Lightroom mobile camera app to shoot a RAW DNG, even if you have an old phone that doesn't support it. So that's pretty cool.
All right, let's look. I'll just. Oh, it says file can't be found. Hold on.
All right, let me see if I got another one.
Why don't I have a? Where's that image? It shows that I have the.
So Jim's asking along those lines. What is the minimal number iPhone that is worthy using for more professional photos? I would say when they went. You remember when they added the word Pro on the end? That was kind of the transition point. Which was the 11, I believe, is where they put the Pro at the end, where they had the 11 Pro and then the 11 Pro Max. Since that 11, it's really had multiple focal lengths as well as a wide angle, a near, and then a telephoto angle. and it's also had a lot of raw support at that point. So anything really past then, you're pretty good. As you go on, you know, like the recent ones, now you got a 5x, which is basically like having a 13 to 120 millimeter lens in your pocket. So,
all right, I had to use a shot from my backyard. So this is actually a shot from my backyard. This is the view. No, this is the Faroe. This is the Faroe Islands. All right. So to answer your question, who was asked that? It's Sharon, right?
Is it up there?
Yeah.
No, yeah, Sharon. Yep.
All right, Sharon.
There.
So here's what I would do. So this is in Lightroom Classic, and this would work the same in Lightroom for kids.
For children.
Step one is to hide this left. Once you find your photo, hide your left panel so you have a bigger view of your image. That's number one. All right, number two is you're going to go to the basic panel, and you're going to want to click on black and white. Don't do it, Sharon. Don't. I know you want to because it's right there. But instead, you see the word HDR? Don't do that either. But right below it, there are 4 little rectangles, we'll call them. You're going to click on this, and then you're going to go down here to where it says B&W, right? Mm-hmm. And there's 17 different black and white profiles already created for you, and all you have to find out is which one you want to use as your starting place. So as you hover your cursor over these, it's going to take the image that you see on the left and give you a live preview of what it looks like. But it already gives you a preview inside the thumbnails themselves. Mm-hmm. Yep. But let's do it real quick here. So that's B&W 1.
2,
Nope.
3.
3 doesn't look bad.
I like 3.
Ooh, 4. Now 4 is crunchy. I think 4 is a little too crunchy.
I like 3.
All right, but here's the problem too, by the way. Let me just tell you, Sharon. This image has already been processed as a color photo. So I'm not starting as... So
like
if this was a regular RAW or JPEG photo that hadn't already been processed, then that number 4 wouldn't probably look too crunchy, or number 3, they'd probably look okay. But you find the one that you want. I'm going to go with this black and white 6. Let me look at... Black and white 9's always good. Here's 6 and 9. And as you go down, you're going to find other variations. I think I'm going with 6. Now, once you click that, Sharon, there's a slider up here, right up here, and you can make the effect more intense or less intense. So you have a kind of an overall adjustment. I kind of like it a little more intense. Yeah. I kind of like it kind of right in there, looking a little Mimo-esque. All right, now, once you do that, you hit close and you go, look, all of your sliders are untouched. They're completely untouched. So now you can edit the photo as you would like. I will say this, Sharon, normally what makes a good black and white is something with a lot of contrast. So now this photo, again, is already processed, but I would imagine you're going to see a lot of contrast. You're going to increase your whites and lower your blacks. It's going to look funky on this photo, though. And, yeah, it's already starting to look a little too much. And you're going to add a reasonable amount of texture and a little bit of clarity, and that'll get you in the ballpark. But what you see on screen looks funky. It doesn't look good because it's already processed. Like the photo, I'm going to reset it. That was done. Like I was done with it. That was the end product. And you know what's interesting? I kind of like that photo. I really hadn't paid any attention to it before. I kind of like, that's not a bad photo.
There you go.
It's okay. I mean, I think it needs a little more processing, quite frankly. But anyway, I hope that gets you going. Now, Sharon, if you really want to learn the whole process of black and white, if I got a class for you. Sharon, we have so much black and white, including black and white printing, all the different details. We dig really, really deep. Go to kelby1.com and sign up. If you don't love it, Sharon, if you don't just love it, because we have over 1,000 classes, we'll give you your money back. You got nothing. You have no risk.
Mimo has a
just
great class
go.
on black and
Mimo's
white.
got a black and white class.
Surge has a great class on black and white. There's a bunch of great classes on black and white.
Moose. Moose.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
but you'll love it, Sharon. Go do it. And if anybody out there is a Kelby One member, let Sharon know like what your experience has been, if you'd be so kind. All right.
Yeah, Allison's asking, we were talking about Backblaze. What software do you use to create backups on Backblaze? What's great about that, you just install their plugin. It works for Mac or works for Windows.
It just takes your whole thing.
And it just does it. Like, there's no magic thing. It's like you launch their software, you tell it, these are the drives to back up, which is why I love Backblaze.
Yeah,
because it backs up my external drive.
Yes.
I just tell it, back up that photo drive, back up that document drive, back up this computer, and send it up. And you just hit go, and it, like there on Scott's screen, that's it. That's all you have. You hit back up now, and it backs it up. Or you can set it up
for today.
You can set it up to just back up when you hit Wi-Fi or back up when you're plugged in, and it just automatically does it.
Yeah, there's really no software. It just does it.
It does it in the background.
Whole thing in the background. You don't even know it's doing it. It's beautiful. It's
We got to take a break.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got lots more questions, and we're going to be doing our giveaways and all that stuff. So stick around. We'll be right back.
This class is a photographer's guide to Budapest. Now, I've learned a lot from my friend Scott about photography, location shoots, all kinds of stuff like that. Great restaurants, right?
Yes.
This is a fun class.
Oh, we're going to go to 17 different locations. If you're thinking of going to Hungary, and it is a wonderful, super photogenic, very, very fun city, and you want to come back with amazing pictures, 17 places, Larry. I'm going to take them to 17 locations. I'm going to say, here's where to shoot. Here's what the shot looks like. I've got some behind the scene photos. I've got maps to show you where to stand, where I took the picture, different angles. I'm going to give you insider tips. I'm even going to tell you where to eat. I got some good recommendations for restaurants because it's a foodie town. Woo, there's some good stuff there. And you know what else? Hungary is very inexpensive. As a country, it's one of the least expensive places that you can travel to. You're going to be shocked at how little things cost once you're there, and you're going to have a great time. And I'm going to make sure of it. I'm going to put you in the perfect spot to come back with killer shots that are make your friends so jealous that you'll probably won't be friends anymore. That's where it's going. All right, where do you find this class? It's exclusively at kelby1.com.
I am a portrait and wedding photographer based in Valencia, Spain.
I do mainly commercial and editorial photography, and I retouch up to 100 photos a month.
We shoot almost every day for all kinds of clients, such as commercial, beauty, and fashion. And we retouch our work more often, like every other day.
I used to spend over 1 hour for one photo.
If we want professional results, we must remove skin blemishes, do micro dodge and burn, highlight eyes, whiten teeth, and even reduce wrinkles in clothes. And this can easily take me up to 2 hours of work for each photo.
So when I saw that there's a plugin for Photoshop that helps you retouch quicker, I was eager to get my hands on it.
I read many feedbacks about it, and I found a lot of positive reviews, which made me to consider buying my first plugin.
One of the challenges we have at the end of a session or wedding is to achieve an edition in our photograph that look natural. This is where retouch for me has become a game changer.
I love the feature that you can pick how much effect it has on your photo and you can adjust it accordingly to your style.
I saved a lot of time and always end up having amazing result with my work.
I am extremely happy with the quality.
Now, I am more efficient and have more time to spare with my family.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
And we're back.
Hey, we're back. Hey, you know where I'm going to in Tokyo?
Shibuya?
Well, yeah. I'm going to go back to a place that I was there last time that really had a great effect on me. Garrett's Popcorn.
Ooh, yeah.
Garrett's Popcorn from Chicago is in Tokyo.
That's a weird one. You're going to Tokyo to get Garrett's Popcorn from
Yes,
Chicago.
I am, as I
There you
did
go.
last time. And it lasted the whole trip.
Last time I had Garrett's, I was in the Chicago O'Hare Airport.
That's where I was last time I had
Yeah.
Garrett's. Love Garrett's.
All right, Lisa V saying there's not much better than being a Kelby One member.
Thank you, Lisa.
There you go.
It's very kind of you. All right,
All right, so what we
questions. Hey, Dan's got one for you, Eric. Here, Dan's asking, have you seen the ZWO C-Star S50 telescope/camera?
I have. There's
Thoughts?
a lot of these products coming on the market where they're like these automated telescopes, and they're kind of like a lot of them are using their smartphone, so you can control it through your smartphone. So if you're wanting to get into like night sky, deep sky photography or deep sky observations, and you don't want to go through the hassle that we've had to go through for the last 30 years with trackers and all this stuff, they're amazing. You're not still going to get the quality you're going to get out of like setting up a fancy rig.
Right.
But if you're just looking to like get into it, I think it's a great way to get into it without the hassle, because the biggest barrier that people have is aligning and getting the polar alignments right and getting all that stuff right, to where these devices are so easy to use. So
The polar alignment.
Polar alignment.
If I'm shooting and I have to worry about the polar alignment, I know I'm shooting the wrong thing.
You're out.
D. Hey, D.
Yeah,
I know
D.
D says, what does he say here?
Lightroom is running at a crawl using 288 gigabytes of application memory on my MacBook Pro. Is it because I'm using only one Lightroom catalog for my entire portfolio?
That is not the problem, D. Absolutely not. They have literally people with millions and millions of photos in one catalog. You should always be using just one Lightroom catalog. There's something else wrong there, D. If it's running at a crawl, you got something set wrong. D, if I can remember, you got my email address. Send me a note, and I'm going to send you a link to an article of what to check. And it's going to be one of those things. So
yeah,
hit me up, and you know where to get me, D.
Yeah, there's something going on there.
All right.
Craig Byer is asking, do you have any recommendations for a site or online service that will, one, let me post 100 plus photos for multiple volleyball matches each season, and two, will also let people purchase prints?
Yeah, it's called Lightroom Classic. So Lightroom Classic,
not Lightroom for children,
not Lightroom for children, but Classic will let you put up, your own galleries and all that kind of stuff. Now, if you want to go to the next level, which is they will have to purchase prints, like they want to purchase prints, you don't have anything to do with it, then I would use, I think SmugMug probably for selling is now. Can you do that on SlickPick? Does SlickPick have no, I don't think SlickPick is.
I don't know. That'd be a question for you, not for me. I know SmugMug can do it. That's what mine's on.
Yeah. So what SmugMug does is you get to say, all right, I'm posting 100 pictures from this match. I'm going to let people. And you
can do that from outside of Lightroom. You can connect SmugMug to Lightroom.
Right. And you get to choose what you want them to pay for the prints. And you can also choose the lab. You could say, I want it to be Bay Photo, or I want it to be MPix, or whoever. They give you a choice of labs. They're all top quality labs. So SmugMug I think would be the most obvious choice for you. It's very possible that SlickPick has a plugin that does that. I don't sell from there, so I'm going to say no. All right, what else we got?
All right, Kevin's asking, is there a third-party iPhone camera app that you can recommend?
Lightroom's camera is quite good. The camera inside of Lightroom, if you want to, because here's what it will do. They're all going to use Apple's lenses, right? So just know that. No matter what they put in their software, it's still using the same Apple lenses, right? But Lightroom allows you to control every aspect, ISO, shutter speed, f-stop, and all that stuff that is not easy to do in Apple's, or available to do in Apple's. So if you have Lightroom for your mobile Lightroom for the iPhone, you can use their camera, and it will give you more high-end control. Mm-hmm. Sharon wants to know, Mr. Kuna, this is specifically to Mr. Kuna, since I could not answer this question. I would call Erik. Yeah. So you get to ask him directly. Sharon wants to know, Erik, what is your favorite night sky place?
Night sky, ooh, that's a hard one. I tend to go for accessibility a lot of times with that stuff, and that's why I love things like there's Kanab, Utah, and launching from there's a lot of night sky places around there. But my favorite one, I actually believe, is in Texas. West Texas, there's a Big Bend National Park. Love Big Bend National Park. I tend to, when I'm doing night sky places, to me, translates to night sky with landscape.
Yeah, with something in the foreground.
Really, honestly, I could shoot night sky. I just got to get a dark location. So that's really what it comes down to. I really love Big Bend National Park.
There you go. So Deb's got a question.
Deb's asking, Scott and Erik, settings you used on your phone yesterday, so webinar, would you use the same settings for an iPad for photos?
Deb, don't use your iPad for photos.
It's
not good. It's not the same.
It's like using a iPhone 6 or an iPhone 7.
Yeah, you're like using like a selfie camera. It's not. Don't use the iPad.
I know there's the temptation. It's like big, and you can see it big. And you would wish they would make like an iPad that had a good camera in it, but they just don't. They just don't, unfortunately. Allison's asking, what's the lightning trigger kit that we used in the Badlands? So we were doing lightning photos.
Yep.
And it's a Myops Smart Plus. So if you go to Myops, MIOPS.com, Myops, and then the Smart Plus. And if you want to get 20% off a Myops Smart Plus, you can use the code Kuna20, Kuna20.
Kuna20.
And you can get 20% off.
Hey, that's pretty good because that's not a cheap.
It's not a cheap thing. So 20% really helps. But I've
heard you talk about that before.
Yeah, I use it the same one I use for rockets too. Like if you want to do rocket launches and have them, because sound, that one will do sound. It will do lightning. It will do time lapse. It will do storm lapse.
It'll do squirrel.
It'll do delay photos. It'll do. There's so many different. There's laser sensors you can get for it, like water droplet sensors you can get for it. It'll do a lot of different things.
That's cool.
Yeah, you can get. It's just Kuna 20. So all caps.
Hey, Allison wants to know. I can already answer no for me.
Yes.
Have you been to Torres del Paine?
No, that's down in the Patagonia area. No,
not yet. All right.
I wish.
Question from Sharon.
Sharon's asking, I have an upcoming trip to Arcadia National Park. First, any favorite places that you photographed there? And second, I expect I may get fog. What kind of camera settings would you suggest to get still get photos in inclement weather?
Yeah, you're not going to have any problems with your settings.
Yeah, because inclement weather is just going to make your photos better, personally.
Yeah. You're not going to, don't worry about there's no special set of settings. You'll just shoot to expose for the scene that you're staying in front of.
Inclement weather is
Sharon,
the best.
A couple of great places. There's a very, very famous, well, wait a minute. I just heard that I believe that the lighthouse that everybody shoots in Acadia got, like in a storm, got blown away. That's not there anymore. I was going to tell you about that. I would say that go to Bar Harbor. There's a lot of wonderful shots in Bar Harbor, which is the town next to Acadia. But
with that said,
ready for this, Sharon? Ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not going to help you for your upcoming trip unless it's like.
It matters how much the upcoming part of upcoming is.
Yeah. But we are working on and are already in the middle of doing a series of photographing in national parks around the country. And I think next up is Acadia. Now, we're doing them in all over the country with all these different instructors. It's a really neat thing, the whole thing, and it's open to all Kelby One members.
We've covered a lot so far, but we're keeping on going, and Arcadia is the next one we're doing.
Yep, Acadia is next up.
I think the crew's going out pretty soon.
I think the crew's literally, I know I send expense checks. So I think it's going very, very soon.
Very soon.
Out on location. And they're doing a whole series on where to shoot in national parks. So hopefully that's coming up.
All right. Nicole's asking, do you have any tips for shooting portraits on a sailboat at sunset?
Okay, Nicole. Here's what I would tell you to do. And it's gonna sound crazy, but it's gonna work perfectly. When you're on the sailboat, wait until when you're on the sailboat, take your subjects and put their backs to the sun. So the sun is behind them, right? You're going to use a longer lens, so you're going to get at the very back, get the back of the sailboat, right? And try to use at least an 85 millimeter if you can help it, right? In the back of the sailboat. Now, here's what you're going to have to do. They would be a silhouette, right? The sun's behind them. They would be a silhouette. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your exposure compensation. On my Canon, it's a wheel in the back. And you're going to go and you're going to intentionally overexpose by about a stop to a stop and a half. That is going to act like a fill flash. It's literally going to be like you edit. Now, it's going to make the background a little brighter. The sunset's going to be a little brighter. But in Lightroom, you can go, say, choose the sky and darken it later. So that's the trick. The trick is use your exposure compensation to brighten your subjects. So and it's going to be about a stop to 2 stops somewhere in there. Just use your dial in the back and watch as it gets brighter. Take a test shot and look if your camera's not set up to show you the exposure. But take a test shot and they should be perfectly lit at sunset. You're going to get a beautiful shot.
Hey, we got to give away some prizes.
I think that's a great idea.
We got tons of prizes.
Do we have winners?
Yes. Crush the Composition, the Kindle edition, is going to Elizabeth Whitcomb.
Yay.
And then the Platypod Basic, which is the little plate down here on this, is going to Tina Eid. And then we've got the V-Flat going to Kurt Wall. And then we have On One No Noise 2024 going to Marcus Horster. And then Retouch for Me is going to John Supko. And then the Slick Pick, 1 year classic gallery plan, is going to Stacy Kohler. So there you go.
We give a lot of stuff away every week.
Just email us over at gridprize@kelby1.com. Verify information, send out your prize. Just try to do that by this Friday.
And include your address so we know where to ship it to.
Yes.
All right.
Or it'll ship to Scott's home.
Ships to my house. I will not be here next week because I will be in Tokyo. I'm hoping that maybe I'll see a few of you out there on Saturday. I'll be walking around. My son's going to be with me. We're going to be cruising around the Shibuya.
Yeah, worldwidephotowalk.com.
area.
And even if you're not walking, you can go donate if you want.
Yeah, you can still help orphans today.
You could. Or you could set up a walk and you can promote it this week. And if you got a local camera club or local group or Pacer group, just go sign up. It's a really cool event.
It really is. And we do it every single year. What's this, the 14th year? There you go. Well, thank you, everybody, for watching. Thanks to all of our crew here. Thanks to Dobson for staying home today, because Erik, I think, did a really good job on the jib. Now, look at that.
It rises.
See, why is he so good at it? And at the same time, Dobson's cutting off our heads and stuff. But you get him in Call of Duty on a 2-player match.
You want him on your team.
You want him on that wall. You need him on that wall. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you in a couple. Take care.